All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Day 15. We're on the second half of your 28-day challenge. So now we're going to dive into the actual sales framework. So it's super important that either you, the agent, or your office manager or sales manager is on this and understands how this works. So while a lot of it are the fundamentals, the 7 rules that have existed in sales for the 100 years before us and will continue to exist hundreds of years after us, this is the foundation, right? This is where common sense becomes common practice. We need to make these things common practice. So the first thing we're going to do is just take a high level overview of your 7-step LSP Trusted Advisor sales strategy. Okay, it's more than just a sales process, right? It's a framework, and this aligns with everything we've learned about our staff over in Hiring Vault. It's super important to understand. This is not a one and done. This is not work through the steps and then you're done. It's continuing and ongoing, just like batting practice for a baseball player or any other activity that takes thousands of hours to perfect. You may get 80% of the way there just from watching a few times, but you're never going to get all the way there unless it's a continued process. So as you continue to train new staff, you'll get better. As you continue to work through and get better at these steps, to email in recordings where we'll break down the tape, we'll talk about them, you get better. It's an ongoing framework that you must continue to work on. The first thing you're going to want to do is print out your 7-step framework summary. Now, a couple ways right here. It's here on the right. Download it. It opens up. And this is what you see, right, is the 7-step Trusted Advisor sales process. All 7 steps, including the pre-step. So let's go through it real quick. Let's talk about the 7 steps. So the first thing is preparation, right? Creating your desired outcomes. So we want to focus on simplifying clarity about what's important to the client. Have the client perceive that you understand what is most important to them. Have the client perceive that you can take effective action on what's most important. And then step 1, we're going to shift the focus to the client's needs, right? Get away from all of your preoccupations for the call. Whether it's about hitting your numbers, about your goals, about your bonus, all of these things don't matter. What does matter is that person who's sitting in front of us or across the phone line from us. Stop, drop, and connect. Now, establishing rapport, the second step is 60% of the sale, right? Whether we're matching and mirroring the tone of their voice or the type of words that they use. If they cuss and they're fired up, we're going to cuss. We're going to be fired up, right? Listen with emotion, and a number of other things that we're going to get into persuading with your ears to learn or understand. The third step, which is 25% of the sales process. So let's look, 40% for established rapport. I believe I said 60, but it's 40% for establishing rapport, 25% for diagnosing needs. So these 2 steps right here, step 2 and step 3, comprise 65% of the entire process, right? So we must lay the foundation with these super important steps in order to bridge and gain traction and get to the step 4, which is building value. We'll get through specific scripts and dialogues that you're going to have with the prospects and with all the folks that you talk to. And then we're going to move on to creating buy-in. This is where the client defines and articulates where they're going to go. What are the outcomes of them working with you? Simple, right? This is not a long, detailed step, but it's a super critical step in helping you close business. You're going to ask them, why, Jim, must you sign up with me today? So totally flip it on them. I'm not going to be ready for it. Now, if you haven't done all of the things right, or there's a giant price gap or whatever, right? There's a possibility we're going to have to overcome objections. Well, if we've prepared and we've set the table up properly, you're going to have a lot fewer of the ones that you always hear. But if you don't, there's a number of things we're going to go through when we get to the step 6 lesson, which is overcoming objections. Finally, writing policies, or as we like to say it, enrolling, right? If somebody is completely bought in that you are providing a tremendous amount of value for what you do, and you must believe it. If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen, right? If you are going to be an order taker, then you're going to be an order taker. But if you want to differentiate yourself, you want to put this stuff there, this is the final frontier here, which is writing policies and enrolling, right? So this is a great time where we set expectations. We congratulate them on their great decision. We complete our new business checklist if we have something like that. And that's it, right? That's the 7 steps. So this is kind of your foundational piece. Let me get back over to day 15. A couple other things. Print it out. Give enough copy to your sales team for review. And assign them homework, reviewing it, coming with at least 3 questions or thoughts from the entire framework. Tons of stuff that they can come with. If you have a laminator, print it out. Print out the 7-step trusted advisor strategy and laminate for each of them to have as a cheat sheet at their desks. All right? We appreciate it. And tomorrow we are going to dive into step 0, which is preparation, creating your desired outcomes. It'll be a little bit heavier lifting, but this was to give you the overview, and we'll see you tomorrow.